What's up, guys? Welcome to another CryptoSphere. I'm Cyflux. I'm with my good buddy Sid Vicious. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of TA. I think Sid has a pretty good hold on what exactly TA brings to our idea of the market. I think it's something that we definitely should not discount. There's a lot of great information that you can basically pull in and try and make smarter moves to buy or sell. I definitely think it has helped Sid make some money off of this. So not something you should discount. Sid, do you want to go ahead and hop right into this?
Yeah, certainly. First and foremost, I just want to explain that I am not the guru of TA or anything like that. I am self-taught, and I have learned TA from other guys on YouTube along the way. And I've kind of weeded out the ones that I felt that were credible and the ones that were not, and
And
the
so
ones that are,
I also
yeah,
want to point out that, like, I know that people think that, oh, you're self-taught, you don't know anything. Well, I'm a professional editor. That's what I do for a living. And I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school. I didn't do any of that. I literally learned everything from home and learned how to basically use all those programs by myself. So I don't think anybody should be hammering on anybody for learning things on your own. So just wanted to say
yeah.
that.
No, it's a good point, and it's really what 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 tools work for you, right?
Yeah.
And in TA, you'll see that there's a lot of guys that have to, they have to say that this is not financial advice. There are some that do this on, this is their uh, bread and butter, right? They do this for
For a
for
living.
income,
Yeah.
right? And so you're going to see the difference of ones who are from a collaborator standpoint, like myself, or the ones who are doing it to seriously make money,
Yeah.
and their YouTube channel is their business. So yeah, they're going to show what they do, and some of them present classes. I've never taken any classes from anyone at this point. It's all just Investopedia and only trial and error, and watching others uh, or mimic, the market in some cases, and doing scenario building from that perspective.
Right.
So everyone has a different flavor of how they do it. And then there's some people who do trading on a daily, doing day trades. And then there's swing trading. And then there's people who do it from a long term macro perspective. That's where you look at everything from a long term buy and sell. And in our case, as crypto investors, regarding what we're doing here, is going to be the majority of that, which is where you are doing a trade from a macro perspective, where you're going to be holding for quite a while. And then when do you exit, right? So
Right.
when do you enter the market and when do you want to exit? And so we'll basically go into, like, why do I care about, Bitcoin if I'm an XRP holder? So a lot of people ask me this on Twitter. They're like, you say that you have XRP, but you talk about Bitcoin like all the time. Like, are you like a closet Bitcoin maximalist? I was like, no, I am not. Like, guys, with the whole camp mentality, we need to cool it. You need to really take a step back and realize who is driving the market.
Right.
Okay, I love XRP and I love Cardano, but Bitcoin has market dominance.
Right. And
Okay,
so people
it's
people also need to understand that, like, the whole reason that Sid is doing this TA is to basically show the correlation between Bitcoin, XRP, other coins. And if it continues to hold market dominance, Bitcoin's continued and still holds market dominance, you're basically going to have these other coins follow in the same path as Bitcoin. And so as Bitcoin rises or falls, you're going to have price increase or decrease. I'm pretty sure everybody understands that. Well, he's actually showing the correlation in actual chart. And so this is why it's important to understand that Bitcoin is an important aspect for now until XRP's utility actually kicks in. XRP is going to continue to follow the same path. So this is basically a price trajectory, a market trajectory of the current market and where it's going to be going if XRP or Cardano's utility, whatever, never was around, never was about, and it wasn't actually a thing. It's basically just going to follow the same pattern as Bitcoin. But go ahead, Sid. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're fine. And it's a good point, and that's the whole purpose of this is to understand that XRP goes up twofold. XRP will go up in price because of Bitcoin's market dominance, or it goes down, and then the utility is activated, right? So whenever that happens, we're going to see the price completely jump
Right.
to whatever it will be. But for the meantime, what we need to pay attention is when do I want to enter the market to accumulate XRP based on the price movement of Bitcoin. And so if I want XRP, I want to make sure I'm buying XRP in contrast to Bitcoin going down. So then I can accumulate a little bit more and stretch my dollar that much more for when the time comes, right? And it's just being smart. It's just, smarter money that way instead of just going, I don't really know what's going on. I'm just going to go buy XRP. If you want to stretch your dollar more, because some people don't have that much money, and maybe you can kind of nickel and dime it in this case because you have to use Uphold and you can't really do a trade. You have to purchase what the market value is for that day, right? So you could be watching Bitcoin, it's going down. Hey, that's a time to look at Uphold when you want to make that market order. And so we're going to go into some of that later on. I think right now, Cyflux wants to make this a very generic and first coming doorstep to folks who've never been accustomed to TA, technical analysis. And I am not a professional at this, but I'm just here to come into the space and I know that some TA guys get a little over the top. They already know what they're talking about. And then for some of you, they will discredit some of that. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. It's a bunch of BS and it doesn't apply. Well, it does apply if you understand the fundamentals that go into it and the tool sets that are used.
Right.
And I'll do my best to bring it to someone who has never touched it before. Like when I first got in, I was like completely overwhelmed, like looking at all these lines and all these different tools and indicators, and it was just very overwhelming. And you guys can always ask me, and within reason, I'll try to respond if you have any questions. And I'm by all means not a teacher in this, but we all are students of TA. Market analysis, it's vastly different from timescales. And what I mean by that is you can look at everything from an hourly to a minute to a daily to a weekly, a monthly, chart. And we'll go through those scaling in and out. And then you want to understand some of the moving averages that are involved, and we'll get into those details, like what's a death cross, what's a golden cross, why are those important? I just want to touch on the more key aspects of some of the indicators that are typically used. I'm not going to go into the iChickMU cloud and some of that kind of stuff. I'm not really into that. Other chartists are, and that's probably why you get a little confused by that. So I'm going to try to demystify as much as I can. And if you guys think that there's something that you just don't fully understand, let me know, and I'll do my best to respond and help you get on board with that. But when someone says PAs, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, so when someone says TA is a bunch of BS, I've already proven it to myself. I'm doing this because I don't want to get it secondhand from someone else. And why should I believe Joe Schmuckatelli or Sally Sue what this TA is? I want it for myself. So I want you guys to have a good foundation of why do people do TA? And it's helpful. It doesn't give you the full answer, but it helps you when making a decision, or how does it correlate with some of the other fundamentals like correlation with news, whereas I haven't seen much news correlate with TA directly, but sometimes it does. And sometimes we get these whale attacks or bot trades. You can see for yourself if that is true or not. Someone will say, hey, we're having a bot attack. And I'm looking at it like, the, the, the candles are kind of moving up organically. There is no bot trading going on.
Right.
And then you'll see these BART moves. They'll call it a BART, where it looks like the shape of a BART's head. And it's very obvious and
hair.
oblivious.
You talking about his hair?
Where this hairline, right? And we kind of go into that later on.
Yeah, but, so let's kind of dive into basically Bitcoin's gradual rise.
Yeah.
From basically its start to where we're at today, and I just want to show the contrast of how the market has changed over time. We're still basically in the realm of where Bitcoin was. So I'm talking about price with XRP and Bitcoin from where the market was. So let's go ahead and show them the gradual rise.
Okay. And just to make sure you can see my screen right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now I'm using Trading View. If you ever want to look at the charts, this is a very common one. There is a free version, and you can pay for using more indicators with this particular chart. Right here, you could type in what type of coin or stock ticker you want to look at. Here I type in BLX to get the longest history of Bitcoin. It's very crucial that you get that, and so it's called the Braven New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. This is the longest history that I found for TradingView, so that's where I'm at right now. And here is you get the option to look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Right now, I'm going to look at it from a daily perspective, so you can kind of see the gradual rise from when Bitcoin first started, and getting the perspective of when we hit these bull runs and these pullbacks. And this will kind of help some of you who are even new to the space, who have no clue about what Bitcoin is and why did it hit 20,000 and why is it where it is at, around 5,000 today. Here, I'm going to go ahead and begin in the beginning of Bitcoin.
Can you do me a favor and close that little empowering thing? Thank you.
Yes.
That thing drives me crazy.
I know. So, from the very beginning, Bitcoin was, under 10 cents, right? No one had a clue about it. It was just kind of there on a network, right? And eventually some trading started happening, and it's like 25 cents, right? We had a peak of about, 50 cents, and it pulled back, right?
That's when people started to realize, oh shit, yeah, there's some money in this actually. Once it hit 50 cents. I mean, I'm sure people were thinking there was money when it was at 25 cents, but still, I mean, that's a pretty big peak for back then.
Yeah, so and you're going to see this ebb and flow, right? It's this ebb and flow price movement. And I think a lot of you can agree that, as of today, you would look at XRP. XRP was like super flat, and then all of a sudden it did this super spike as it came into the market, okay? And I'm gonna kind of reflect on this later on, and I want you guys to kind of think about this for a second. Of just kind of remember this, okay? So when Bitcoin first started, okay, so we know that Bitcoin goes up, it does a pullback, and here's like this bear market trend, right? So to someone who first came into Bitcoin, like, oh my gosh, it went all the way up to 50 cents, and it pulled all the way back down to 17 cents. That's like a big deal back then.
Yeah.
Okay. This is about the perspective of that day in the market, and down below you can see that this is back in, 2010, right? And the rise here was November of 2010. And then we had our bull, our bear market, right? Right. So you're going to see that this is a common theme here with this ebb and flow. And then we moved it, we progressed through time, and we're just kind of like we finished the bottom. All of a sudden, we go into this bull market.
Right.
This is not mooning, right? I want you guys, you Lambo people, this is not mooning. This is a bull market. This is a right here. This is a bear market, right? And then this is a bull market.
Right.
Bull market, not moon. Mooning is like when you go from here to here, okay? Major increases. But this is higher lows. And that's what I'm showing you. We're going from this low to a higher low, to a higher low. We had a bull move. It pulled back, but this low is way higher
above
than
what it
here, right?
was, yeah.
Okay. So some of you are going to see this common theme here that we're going up and up and up and up. But we see it from
every time,
here.
even though a bear market happens, you're still getting those higher lows. So it's not devaluating over time; it's continuously going up.
Right. So look at when we went up here, but look how small that is in contrast to here. But this is in 2011.
Right.
Okay. So
It looks tiny. It looks tiny
this looks tiny. Okay. This
compared to
looks
what
tiny.
it was.
But this is like 30, $30 at this all-time high. And then we do a pullback. Do this pullback, bear market, and check this out. Let's do a time of 162 days. That's about, just over, half a year, right? So here we go with this upward trend, right? This is this low right here, but it's still higher than right here. This is the bottom. This is how you find a bottom, right? And a lot of people always want to know when is the bottom, right? Let me get rid of this. Sorry. I don't know why it's still there. But anyways, we continue with this this bull market, upward trend with pullbacks along the way. They call it a pullback correction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Here's the all-time high. Here's the low. All-time high is higher than last time. We had a pullback. This one was so in 2013. It was kind of weird, right? It was a very interesting situation where we had this all-time high, we had this pullback, and it went up, it rallied, and then over time it went sideways. It got super boring. People were like, I don't know what is Bitcoin at this time. This is when I first found out about it when it was like a dollar, like 110. I think it was like right here in May of 2013 when my buddy at eBay and PayPal was like, dude, you got to get in. I was like, I don't know, man. This is a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Silk Road, all that jazz. And then it went down. I was like, see, dude, it's a scam. He's like, no, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden, bull market kicked back in, and I completely ignored it from that point on. I don't know what happened at this point. So I don't even know that it's even going up. My buddy at the company was like quiet. And so he was quiet about it, right? So he obviously made money.
Yeah.
And
big
he
time.
thought like I completely dismissed him. And so as of late, he said, yeah, he kept re-entering 40% for reinvestment on
Wow.
Bitcoin every time. So at this point, we're kind of like moving into 2015. It was basically about a year, right? It was about a year. Yeah, 411 days right there, right? So just a little over a year hitting that bottom. And then we moved into this accumulation phase of 2015. This is going to be a big deal, all right? And we're going to come back to this as we move forward in time. But I want you guys to see this. It's like a Golden Gate Bridge into the bull market.
Right.
I kind of like that. I don't know why, but it's kind of like the bridge into the bull market. This is going to be very significant as we move forward. This magenta line that I have here, I got from one of the guys on YouTube, and I'll do my shout outs later. I wanted to show you guys you are here, similar to what happened in 2015 as we are now. And we're going to go into this price structure in this view right here. We're going to get into that. A lot of other folks do understand, and this has been a late discussion. So some of you are just now hearing about it. We'll get into that, okay? And you'll see that we went through this major capitulation. We pulled out of it, and then we went up, and it came back down, went sideways a little bit, and then there's one more time we had like basically a fake rally, and this became like disbelief in the market, and it completely crashed, or capitulated. I'm not going to say crash, but it was like it hurt, right? And then from that point on, momentum picked up because it sparked interest. Then there was a sideways boring accumulation into this aggressive higher highs as we were like moving upwards, and it just accelerated, right? And this was a big deal. But
Yeah.
you guys are starting to see this ebb and flow pattern, right? And this sparked the 2017 bull run. Okay. This was highly significant. It kept growing and growing. And I got little stars here to kind of mark some of these major high moments of price. And I mean, we were way back at $100, right?
So this
It's
is 20.
moving up
This is
into
what,
the 700s.
what year is this, Sid?
But the timing of this is just amazing. No traditional market will ever be like this. And so I kind of like show this trend of this bull, and I'm going to pull back, kind of give you guys a little perspective, but this is a huge peak, right? And then we're coming on the cusp of the 2017 that everyone remembers, all the Lambo kids, right? Champagne bottle poppers. Look at this. I mean, this is just incredible. As we moved monthly in time, right? I mean, these gains were just incredible because everyone FOMOing in
Right.
at the very top of this. And then eventually it tipped out, and same thing, another pullback.
So what
And
year was that 2019 thing? Go back. I think my audio cut out for a second. I fixed it.
oh, right here.
Yeah. So what year was that? That was
This is in 2015.
2015.
So this is like the 6th of July
So
we're
this
looking
is
at right here.
us today in
Mhm.
2019, but on Bitcoin's price chart.
Right. So think about this. We are potentially right here into however this accumulation will play out. We'll get into that. This is what everyone's kind of trying to speculate, and that's what it is. That's speculation. And we'll get into that as we move forward.
Right.
So, but I want to show some of the new viewers that the perspective of these ebb and flow price movements of Bitcoin. And so I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I want you to see
Look how drastic that is. It's insane.
it's very aggressive. This is a J hook pattern.
So show the very very beginning, and show
Yeah.
look at the size difference. It's crazy. Like look at that.
So here we are. And I'm going to go ahead and scale this down a little bit. But let's look at it from a weekly perspective. And you can really see.
That's where we were earlier when we first started this. We're at the bottom down there on the left.
Right.
Yeah, that's where
So
we
I have
were.
these. This is where we are now. I got the green fill goal post here. And look at these bull runs and these pullbacks.
Yeah.
But it's like even the moon, Carl from the moon, his YouTube channel, he's even said this, that Bitcoin is still in a bull run.
Yeah.
Yes, we have these pullbacks. I even showed you these pullbacks, but Bitcoin is in a bull run. And a lot of people are like, wait, what is going on right here? What's this, right? So
Yeah.
we'll get into the the icing on the cake here, but but as you can see, this ebb and flow price movement, it's perpetual. Um, does XRP do that right now? It's starting to. It's starting to mature into the market. And why is that? And I'll say why. It's because these base pairs with Bitcoin. And with all these exchanges, they're starting to have a majority of these base pairs. And the more base pairs we have, the more we're going to assimilate into this Bitcoin cube, if you will. um, it's going to follow the market trend. And I brought this up a long time ago, and a digital asset investor, I messaged him one time, and I was like, hey, I'm starting to see a similarity here with XRP and Bitcoin and some other coins of how they're kind of correlating with each other. And he's like, what do you mean by that? Like, can you explain? And at that moment in time, I couldn't really explain myself because I didn't know how to. I was really busy at that time, and I didn't have the tools in front of me to explain what I'm seeing. And I think he was wondering like, hey, we should be decoupling from Bitcoin,
Right.
but we're not, right? And I
Not
and I
now.
wanted to show that, but I couldn't. So,
Yeah.
sir, if you are watching this, this is essentially what I was trying to show you a long time ago. Um, but XRP is going to go up in price in two ways. It's either through Bitcoin or on its own utility and decouple from that point on. So that's the whole point of this. And for some of you who are looking at this who are new, you're going to obviously see that it's always gone up. Is
Right.
it is can Bitcoin go to zero? No, it will never go to zero. I'm sorry. For some of us who are XRP maximalists, who sit in camps and say, "Hey, XRP is going to be better than Bitcoin." Yes, yes, definitely. Bitcoin was the first coin. It's going to have. Um, I would say it's the most mature coin. It's always going to be there. It's
Yeah.
never going away.
It has the most
But
it has the most pull right now because it's been in the market the longest. It's there. It
yeah,
has the most exposure. It's still the biggest from if you go ask random people, "Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin over XRP?" People are going to say yes, they've heard of Bitcoin and not XRP. But that whole idea of XRP blowing up will come. It is coming, just like
yeah,
all these other coins. I think that maybe people are more familiar with Litecoin or Ethereum because those were the big three back in the day. Well, when this
right.
bull market actually happens, you're gonna see that you have XRP in the top three. People are going to be talking about that as well.
And that's right. We do have to look at Litecoin. It has sometimes been the future teller of where Bitcoin will go sometimes. And so I do look at Litecoin, um, crypto capital venture. Dan has kind of shown some of that on his channel. If you want to check him out, you can on YouTube. Um, he does live streams quite often, and he will correlate Bitcoin with Litecoin in
Right.
contrast of where things are kind of moving. So, for some of you who are like the majority of the XRP holders, I know we like to sit in our own little comfortable space, but we have to look outside the box a little bit to understand how are we being affected. We are
Right.
affected by these other price movements for now, um, and we need to respect that.
Yeah.
You can argue it all day, you'll never change my mind. So,
This is
but I'm
why
here to help you.
this is why on our first podcast I had mentioned that it's important to want other coins to be successful, and this has everything to do with it. Is right now we are still in the pull of Bitcoin, and we're going to continue to be there till that utility hits. So you know you want others to succeed, even if we're in direct competition. You want them to succeed because it gives exposure to the market overall, and that's what we want for mass adoption.
Right. We want people who are not even a holder of a cryptocurrency
Right.
to be comfortable coming in, right? We all benefit.
Yeah, whether it
And
be something like Dogecoin or Zill or just off the wall stuff. If it's something like that people are getting into, eventually where do you think they're gonna go?
yeah,
They're gonna gravitate towards the ones that have utility, the ones that are actually worth something, and do something.
right. And it's the majority of the coins are in the top, 10 to 20, or maybe, I mean, maybe that's even being aggressive there. But
Yeah.
for short term, the majority of the coins out there, yeah, you can definitely make money off of these shiz coins that we call them, right? And I, I'm only here for money. That's all I'm here for. I know some people are here for the technology. I don't really care. I work in IT, and I know what IT is all about, and I understand the technology and where this is all headed and the purpose behind it, for the majority of the world. But in this moment in time, I want to make money for my family, and probably the generation after that. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm here doing this. Why I put all this energy and effort to understand it and understand what is the purpose of some of these coins and their utility and use case, and the price movement of Bitcoin and its store of value that it's now becoming.
Right.
And we need to be prepared how to explain this to people who don't understand it, and not come in with all these outside anomalies and misdirection. And that's another thing. There's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of pricks. I cannot stand them. They're a bunch of
I'm
pricks.
one of them.
So I like to know the information myself. I want to teach you guys how to learn how to discern right from wrong, and get the information yourself. Quit getting it secondhand from other
Right.
people. There is people out there who are doing justice in the community, but we all need to be checked,
Right.
right? Someone could be tricking them too. Someone could be tricking me when I'm spilling some news on something, and I find out that, anyone can create a web page and say, "Oh, this is happening." And then
Right.
I go on a YouTube and I say, "Oh, this is happening," but really someone is trolling on a web page.
Right.
Anyone can create a web page and say, "This is news." Check it. And sometimes that will show the correlation with the market price, and the market price is not adhering to that. Why? Right? And sometimes you're going to find out that market price does not move on news. It's all calculated. It's all part of mathematical hash rate power, in regards to the halvening events, and we'll kind of get into some of that later on. You'll hear about that, and they are significant factors that affect the price. And when the halvening comes, you're going to see the price accelerate upwards like never before.
Right.
And just so you guys understand that, look at where we started and look where we are now. I mean, we're at 10 cents and we're up here in the thousands, 20,000.
Right.
Okay. Now let's take another step farther out, right?
So this is your
And
projection of where.
yes. So here we are right here. Okay. And we're going to see that why do people say, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to 100,000. Oh, it's going to 250 or maybe 300,000." How likely is that, right? So I'm
Yeah.
going to go to a weekly chart here so you guys can see this. And why is this even significant? How is this even possible? Nothing makes money like that.
Right.
Here in crypto it does. And people are going to complain, "Oh, it's too volatile," and this. And if I'm going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars, do you think I give a crap if it's
Yeah.
volatile? Yes, I like volatility. Look at this. Look at this volatility here,
Yeah.
right? Let's look at this J-hook pattern, bull, whatever you want to call it. What I did was
yeah, show us like what's the correlation between the stars?
yeah,
Stars and
so
the yeah.
so because we're heading to the stars. Um,
Oops.
right here, I went
Can you move your browser?
oh yeah.
Yeah, it glitched. All right.
Okay. So here we went from this all-time high to this all-time high, and I kind of mapped out. I just want to show some perspective in ratio from what happened from previous market structure because we are following it, not exactly, but pretty damn close. Okay, very close. I just want to show you how other chartists, other people are doing this as well. I'm not the one who came up with this. I did want to see, hey, is this even possible? Like, are we really going to see 100,000 Bitcoin to a 250,000 Bitcoin? Is this even possible within the time frame that they're saying, like 2022 to 2021 to 2022?
Right.
I mean, Bitcoin moves 3-year bull runs to 1-year bull. Okay, ebb and flow. Okay, it's a 3-year bull with a 1-year bear. That's pretty good odds of making money. Think about that. And guess what, guys? If you just coming into the space now, you are in the most golden opportunity of your life.
Right.
I'm serious, of your life, to even know that this is a time to get in. If you can get a Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. And I'm going to show you why. Look at this. Cannot go wrong. You buy down here and it goes up here within less than 3 years. 2 to 3 years, you made some insane money that you probably had sitting in your account where, Wells Fargo, Chase, they're like, oh yeah, here's like 35 cents for your interest. Man, go screw yourself.
Yeah.
Put it in crypto
and making money.
Yeah, they're taking your freaking money and doing this with it in the S&P 500 or whatever. Screw them. Put it in invest in yourself, right? So make freaking money. That's what this is about. Yes, the technology is phenomenal. I will never disregard that. But do something for yourself. But being scared, trading is not a spectator sport at all. You got to pay to play. Whatever it is that you got is your own perspective. Do not compare to other people. Oh yeah, my friend has $500,000 and he's got like 50,000 bit. I don't give a crap. It's what can you get? Get for yourself. Okay. I'm really passionate about that because you're going to miss out.
Dude, you sounded like you were mimicking a surfer dude.
Oh yeah.
It sounded pretty good.
Yeah, like we're like riding these waves, man.
It's technically what we're doing.
It is. And you're going to hear about the monsoon from the bearable BG123 folks. And it's like a monsoon. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of correlation
really
with
just
that.
Looking at a chart.
And I was going to go in. No, I whoever it is, they're chartists. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, I don't go into the TA thing. Whoever that is a chartist, and they just correlate their their riddles according to charting and the timing of that. Why do you think they brought up May? Let me show you this, guys. Let me show you this. You see this? I have April and May right here, and then we're gonna have July. Okay, this is my chart from. Sometimes when I go back into it, it changes everything. You see this 3 here? We have a 1, a 2, and a 3, and I have a 4. This is kind of following the 200 weekly moving average. I'm not going to explain it right now, but it's respected this moving average. Okay, and we've had this leg up. It was a nice rally. Was it organic? No. I mean, that's not organic. This is organic. This is not organic.
Yeah, that's a big buy-in.
It's a big buy-in. someone knows what's going on. Okay. Um, but the bearable guy with the calendar, and he's got the sun over the calendar of May. Um, this is, I mean, this is all part of charting. I'm sorry. This is all somewhat forecasted. I'm not saying predicted. It's forecasted. Okay. We're
Like
all
the weather.
speculating.
Like the
This
weather.
is,
You can't
yeah.
be 100%
Yeah.
on the dot, but especially if you live in Texas, man, the weather is crazy out there. But yeah, you can't really
Okay.
always predict things in news, but for the most part, you can forecast what's coming.
Yeah. This is an ebb and flow price movement correlating with hash rate,
Right.
and who is buying into Bitcoin and who's using it, right? Um, there's so many factors that play into this, and that's why you can't just dismiss TA. You can't dismiss news. You have to look at everything. What are the miners doing? What is China doing with all their miners? They hold a dominance on the ownership of Bitcoin. They will impact the market. The market structure has remained, it's getting more and more consistent. Will this change over time? Yes, it'll indefinitely change over time. But there is a morphine pattern here, and the other coins are following this.
Right.
So going back to our bearable guy prediction of May, right? I got highlighted right here. So we're kind of like going into April, May, and then July. And I'm going to go into why I have these marked for myself. Um, this is not financial advice and yada, yada, yada. I'm not your financial advisor and all that.
Well, you're mine.
But
So
yeah, Cyflux has been leveraging me.
I have
Um,
been. It's working.
I'm going to let you guys know of this current price move trade that I did. I bought some Cardano down when Bitcoin was down here. I was in the 0.029, 0.031 range on my accumulation.
He told me to buy
And then
too.
and I sold up here. Okay. And everyone's going to be like, why would you do that? That's insane. We're about to break 6,000. And I have some red lines here that are kind of shaded out a little bit. And these are zones of resistance from what happened, back here. Okay. And these things, we have to look what happened in the past. And over here, we have a lot of resistance that was support at one time. Old support becomes new resistance, is that I've learned, right? And so the speculative thing that I said was, we're going to be heading down. And they're like, whatever, dude, why are you so, dude, the bear market's over. We're about to moon here pretty soon. I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
finally did it.
I would like to feel that way, but I want to throw a word of caution, and this is why I threw this out and pinned it on my Twitter account, that there's still going to be a correction, a pullback,
Right.
however you want to discern that. But it's going to go in these like a stair-stepping, but it has to break resistance along the way, or I mean support. I apologize. There will be support, levels of support that we're going to see on the way down. And some of you are going to be like, oh, wow, that doesn't correlate with the news. I was like, I know, because the news is too late. You're going to hear about it later on. And this price move to the downside, this is still speculative on my part, because it can go upwards and test this level of resistance, and I've kind of charted that on my Twitter account.
Yeah, it has like
That
a little down check,
I
a little up
I
and
just
down.
did like an example that this might go up here and then kind of go down and then might go up as the example price move. To be, I feel like we're gonna get some. The bulls are gonna have some exuberance going upwards to test some of these levels, and but the end of this move, I feel, is coming to the downside, and I can kind of explain all that, discussing some moving averages and looking at past previous market structure back in 2015 that everyone knows about, for the ones who are in the know. Okay. And I want to get some of you who are new to this and understand why there's, why this is valuable. Okay. And not to be dismissed. And I think after all this, you're gonna like, oh yeah, this does make sense, and it does add value to knowing what to project in the future. So I think, maybe Cyflux, was there a question that you think that someone might have at this point? Something like, why do I have this showing going way up?
Right. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that the market is following a similar pattern. If you go down, at a much earlier year and compare it to now, I mean, it's that magenta line is continuously going up. So, I think that if you're following the same patterns and the same sort of directional flow, you're gonna obviously go towards that direction. Um, and when is that? When is that the moon there? When did you put? That's just speculation, but where did you?
This is all.
What year?
So I took the same ratio. I took the same ratio of what happened from this all-time high to this one, and this is almost like, look at the percentage of that, right?
Right.
Look at the percentage here. I mean, that's incredible. So we went out 1,486 days approximately from all-time high to other all-time high, and I mean, this is, you don't see percentages like that in traditional
Right.
market. I haven't seen it myself. Someone may have. I don't know. I don't really care. All I care about is this, and how does that correlate with the next projection? This could be even higher and faster,
Right.
right? We're gonna find out how that plays out. What is important? What is the key takeaway of this? We're gonna make money. That's the takeaway on this. Does it hit 100,000? Does it hit 200,000, 250,000? Let's find out. Let's from this all-time high to here. I put it like about right there. It's still about 15, about right here. Okay, look at that. This is doable. Okay,
Right.
it's doable. It is doable.
Yeah, it's about the same percentage rise. And you're talking
You want
about
to be,
it's already been
yeah.
around. It's been around. We already had a big bull market. People are aware of it. A ton of people are already invested in it. So more are now here. And so
Hmm.
the more people that are in, the more that's going to travel word of mouth. People are going to want to get into this.
Oh
And,
yeah,
and so
FOMO is gonna happen here.
big time. It's coming. So did you want to touch on what would happen to XRP's price if it continues to follow Bitcoin?
Yes.
If it's following
Yeah.
Bitcoin's ebb and flow, what is going to
Hmm.
happen to XRP's price simply based off of it following the pattern and having nothing to do with utility?
Yes. So let's go to Forbes.
Oh God,
And
Forbes.
what's wrong with Forbes?
I
Come
don't
on,
know. A lot of
man.
people don't like Forbes.
What do you want? Come on. What do you want? Oh, let's get your favorites. Get your
No,
favorite
don't
here.
do it. I
Let's get
hate.
your.
I hate. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
here
hate
we go.
market cap guys.
Well, because you did that, I'm gonna go here now.
Bunch of
Oh, there you
douche
go.
canoes.
Okay, so let's look at the all-time high of when Bitcoin hit $20,000, and where was XRP? It was around $3,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just to kind of put a level playing field of correlation here, of projections, and even Working Money Channel agreed with me on this. Um, when you are looking at projections of your coin, whether it's XRP, EOS, Cardano, whatever, you wanna look at like where was that all time high with that coin, right? And you can quantify those gains or on a projection. So to make it simple, every $20,000, XRP is $3. Okay. To just to make it a even correlation there. So let's say Bitcoin goes to 100,000. That's 5x from 20,000. So I can multiply 5 by 3. That's a $15 XRP. You think people would be happy about that? Oh yeah, they would be
Hmm.
definitely happy. Now, does that go with the utility, the activation of the utility? Brad flipping a switch, as everyone wants to say it. No, that's different. But could the switch be flipped when it's already $15? Yes. All I care about is, did I get in low enough where I'm not paying so much for XRP? And right now, we're looking at the potential rise of XRP price. So I have accumulated as much as I damn well possibly could in this area at that time.
Right.
And because later on, people are like, "Oh, I got in at $1." You know, you're gonna hear a lot about
Oh,
that, right?
somebody
And
did.
they're like,
Some
"Wow, you're."
some idiot did that I know. I got
Oh,
in
I
at
know.
one.
His name is Cyflux.
Yeah, I bought about a
Um,
thousand, and oh boy.
let's say you are holding a bag, right? But that bag's gonna disappear within the next 2 to 3 years. You're going to lose all that money if you sold it, right? Don't let the emotion get to you. Let let the market come to you, as Da Vinci J125 from Crypto. He says, let the market come to you. If you're up here, just wait and then get your gain and then decide when you want to do your exit strategy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like those people that are like, "Oh yeah, I got in at $3 and I feel like I lost." It's like, dude, nothing has happened yet. You have to wait a little longer. You know what I mean? Like the market is
Exactly.
gradually going up. You didn't lose. You don't lose if you don't sell, basically.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's why I'm telling people on Twitter, hey, if you are gonna sell, don't be stupid. Sell, sell what you need to. Sell 10%. Don't go over that. Hold. Pay off your bills. Do what you need to do, and just hold, because if you are looking at the structure of the market, it's going to continue to go up. Eventually, we will get to that point where it evens out and you get more of a traditional mature market. But for the most part, right now, it is on the upward trend, and I think we need to be mindful of that and just try just try and do your best to hold on to your assets. Put something, if you guys want to invest in something that is going to
Hold on
make
to
you
your
money.
assets, folks.
Yeah. If you want to invest in something that is going to make you money in the short term, um, that's perfectly fine. I think most people are very gun ho on XRP. If I'm going to buy into crypto, why wouldn't I just buy XRP? Well, that's fine, but it's a long term thing. So don't expect to pop off right away. I think once utility hits, it's going to skyrocket. But we
Hmm.
don't know when that's going to happen. Uh,
Yeah. We don't care. What I care is, do I hold it? And then
yeah.
if it happens, I can sleep at night. I already got in and it just happened. And I'm going to look one morning and go,
Well,
oh crap.
no work for me.
No work for me. No work for my kids either.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm going to make them work anyways. So what I want to touch on is the market structure of XRP. And I know that some people out there are kind of like, okay, Bitcoin has its ebb and flow, right? But XRP is different. And they're going to argue or debate that it always looks like this lightning bolt type of pattern. I'm going to disagree with all that, guys. And I'll explain why. Um, and this is just my opinion on this theory, okay? And I know that some people are trying to, double stack the like I take this chart pattern and then I double stack it here and that's how it's going to look. I disagree with that. And I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you why. Because when XRP entered the market, it wasn't mature in the market. And I'm going to explain why, because if we look at the dates here in 2017, how this kind of played into view in the price. You're going to see these humps here in where Bitcoin itself had that correlation of those price hump pattern movements.
Can you pull?
And
Can you kind of squinch that down a little bit so that they can see the correlation in the humps?
oh yeah.
It looks expanded.
Yeah, sorry. So you're gonna see how these price movements moved into these humps, and here we are in January 2017, and obviously this particular chart is only going to go back to May of 2017, but you're going to see some kind of correlation here. And what's going on is as we move into base pairs on all the exchanges, eventually XRP is going to morph into the ebb and flow pattern that we witness on Bitcoin, right? And as other coins as well, they're doing it as well. And now it's starting to mature into that ebb and flow. And what I'm thinking or suggesting or hinting at here is XRP is going to be doing this as well. Okay. It's not going to be this flat line jolt, pacemaker type of heart formation. It's not going to be that. I don't think that's going to be the case. We're going to follow this ebb and flow pattern, and then it's going to, okay, remember what I said from the very beginning, in the beginning of Bitcoin, go back and show you how Bitcoin all started out, right? And here we are. It went flat and jumped up,
Yeah.
right? It's no different what XRP is what we witness here. So XRP will be following the same price movement going into Bitcoin's current market dominance.
Gotcha.
And so I just want to kind of demystify that, throw that out there. But I want to hear what you guys think about that. What do you think? Like based on what I just showed you, very simple, very easy to see there. You guys think we take this and we follow that and then we stack it on here to get the same price movement? Or do you think it actually going to do this bull pattern, J hook ascension, right?
Yeah.
Of
You want to bring
XRP.
that back up?
Yeah, that will be here,
Yeah.
right? This is
do
an
you
ebb and
think that-
flow.
Yeah.
I mean, what makes you think XRP is just going to jolt up other than its use case being activated? It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, guys. And I know some of you on Twitter are, just kind of stacking it that way. I'm sorry I don't do the XRP to BTC chart. I just do a USD. Other people are going to, I don't really care. This is how I chart, and this is what works for me. You can chart any way that you want in this case. So use what works for you, okay?
Right.
And also from a very standpoint of how I'm communicating to you, just use a shopping cart method. You don't need to buy the whole store. Just take what you need, okay?
Yeah.
There's gonna be stuff here that doesn't make sense to you, or you already know it. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Just take what you need. If you know it all, awesome. Good for you,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of you are going to know more than me, and I don't really care. I'm not here to boast.
The thing is we're here to collaborate, so it's not really about like who's right and who's wrong. Like if there's things that you want to share with us, feel free to come at us and tell us like, well, this is the way that I see this going, and it's open for debate. I don't think it should be anything where I think people get too emotionally stacked into their TA and what they think is going to happen with the market. Dude, don't get emotional about this. Like this is a projection. This is a speculation, and it's an opinion that we feel and have seen pattern that basically confirms that currently right now it seems like it's following the same ebb and flow. So, don't take offense to what we have to say. We're not attacking anybody. We're not trying to tell somebody that, their way is wrong. I think there's several ways that you can do this. This is just what works for Sid and myself. It's what makes most sense to me. But is there anything else you want to add? I mean, I feel like for the most part we kind of covered a pretty
Should
big
we?
chunk. I think we're almost running into
Yeah, we went
almost
into an hour.
yeah, it's about an hour now. So, is there
Maybe
anything else you
maybe we
want
could
to
do
add?
a well. Maybe we could do a bonus video if you want. If you guys want to know what my current projection is for XRP on when we enter the bull market, um, I can do that, or maybe I can touch on it. Why I think uh, this specific month may become the doorstep of the bull market. You want me to get into that, or put that as a next video?
Let's save it for another video.
Sure.
I feel
Okay.
like I think we went over quite a bit of stuff, and that way we can I'm sure we can put
Yeah.
something up tomorrow.
Yeah. Definitely. Cool.
But
Well.
yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of CryptoSphere. I'm gonna go watch Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones just came out, so I really want to go check that out. So hopefully you guys aren't mad about us cutting it a little bit. Well, I guess it's not even short; it's still an hour, Sid. But
Yes.
you did.
It's 1 hour.
I just want to say thanks, dude. I think you did a fantastic job explaining uh,
Thank you.
a lot of the stuff that was going on here. It's very complicated, and I hope this helps people kind of get a better understanding of what's to come. We will do another video if you guys like this and you want to see more of this. You want to see more of us talk about this. Let us know. I think the next one is going to be basically your projection of not necessarily May but July.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So,
It's basically, to add to that, it will depend on where do we land on this current correction, whether we do or not, and based on those moving averages and looking at other indicators, will kind of clarify where we're headed. As of right now, I don't really have a lot of data to look at to get a better idea. I'm just using a telescope in this case. So summertime is going to be party time, how I
okay.
look at it. Are we mooning? No. We're just saying, I'm suggesting that we're going to be hitting higher lows as we progress throughout the rest of the year after July timeframe.
Yeah.
And there's the potential aspect of the extended accumulation phase. And so as we move forward in time, we're going to touch on these. We're going to do videos on this and watch the market as we progress in time. And if you guys think that's going to be fun, and also discussing like as we move upwards in price, as we start our ascent, and kind of watching when these pullbacks will come. They are going to come on the way,
Yeah.
and it'll be fun to watch that. So I'm not a day trader. I just kind of do the swings and look at times of opportunity. But right now,
He's a swinger.
I'm a yeah, I'm a swinger in trading. But I for some of you, what's my strategy? My strategy right now is buy as much as I freaking can for my current cryptocurrency holdings in my portfolio, and just buy up as much as I can, because it's just not gonna it's gonna go down a little bit in the next month or so, and sure enough, I'm really gonna buy up. And
Right.
if it goes back up from there, I got what I wanted. Got what
Right.
I wanted, and if there's going to be more dips, then I'm going to buy on more dips.
Okay.
That's my strategy for now.
All right, guys. I hope
Yeah,
you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one. It'll probably be out maybe 1 or 2 days to go over, what we see happening in the future. But if you guys like this video, like and subscribe. Hit us up on Twitter, whatever you guys want to do. All right, you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.
see ya.